Ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to do something that could be viewed as something that is nerve-wracking, something that could make you nervous. I'm a little bit nervous about this as well, but I am entirely confident in what I'm about to do and the fact that I believe that I would be successful in what I'm about to do. I'm not even going to leave y'all in suspense anymore because y'all read the title. Y'all know what's about to go down. I'm about to apply for the Capital One Venture X card. So, let's get on with the video. So yes, you read the title and you heard me within the first few seconds of the video. I am about to apply for the Capital One Venture X card. Now, before we get into the application process, we are first going to talk about the card itself, everything that it has to offer as of me recording this video, which is near the middle of August. And we're also going to talk about changes that will be approaching us when it comes to this card up in February 2026, which some people might not like, while others may not really care that much about, myself included. And then of course, we got the application process, and I'm gonna give you guys my final thoughts on it. So I'll be honest, this is actually my first time applying for a upper tier credit card, and this is actually my second time applying for a credit card with the annual fee. So with all of that said, let's go over everything that we need to know about this card. So when you get this card and you spend $4,000 using this card within 3 months of you getting this card, you're gonna get 75,000 bonus points, which is gonna be extremely useful. And like I said, this is my second time applying for a card that have an annual fee, so obviously this one has it as well. And we're looking at $395, which in comparison to other upper tier credit cards, this ain't bad. This really ain't bad. And in fact, this is one of the reasons why this is the best credit card out now, especially be part of Team Travel, in my opinion anyway. Now let's take a look at the reward multipliers. You're looking at 10 times the points on hotels and car rentals booked on the Capital One travel site, 5 times the points on flights and vacation rentals booked on the Capital One travel site, and 2 times the points on everything else. And it's a catch-all card, and it's a pretty good one, if I do say so myself. And here's another reason why I'm considering this to be the best travel credit card out right now. You're going to receive a $300 annual credit that you can use on the Capital One travel site. Again, that's every year. And then on your anniversary year, you will also get 10,000 points every year, starting with your first anniversary year. So basically, you take that, which is worth $100 pretty much, combine it with the $300 you get every year, that's $400 that you get it that you're going to be spending on travel. So if you travel every year, you're basically going to be making $5 for having this card, effectively. So it's a no-brainer here. Now, another good thing about this card is the fact that it has no foreign transaction fees. It's going to give you credit that you can use towards global entry or TSA pre-checks in terms of the whole application process for that. Just get the global entry. Don't waste your time on the TSA pre-check because that comes with global entry. So just use that $120 towards the global entry, and it's good for every 4 years since global entry and TSA pre-check is good for every 4 years. And then you're going to get access to the Capital One lounges. We're going to talk about that later in this video. And again, what I have to say about that, some of you guys might not like. So let's move on though. You will also get access to Priority Pass lounge access, and you can also bring in 2 accompanied guests. Yeah, we're going to talk about that later on in this video. Let's move on. You can also refer friends to earn up to 100,000 bonus points, which is a lot. You get a complimentary Prior Pass subscription that normally costs $149 a year with the annual digital access, which is another place where you can book your trips and stuff like that. You're also going to get auto rental collision damage waivers as well. So this will cover primary and provides reimbursement up to $75,000 for theft and collision damage for rental cars. So what I mean by primary, we talk about primary coverage, not secondary coverage, American Express. Now let's talk about the upcoming changes. These changes will take effect on February the 1st, 2026. Authorized users will no longer automatically receive access to Capital One, Priority Pass, and Partner Lounges. Primary cardholders can pay an annual fee of $125 per authorized user to maintain access. Guest access to Capital One lounges and Capital One landings will also be impacted, as it will require a per visit payment of $45. But if you are a kid that is 17 or under, it will only cost the kid $25. That's paid per visit, by the way. Cardholders who spend $75,000 annually can still bring 2 complimentary guests to Capital One lounges and Capital One landings as well. So these changes really are affecting those of you who want to bring your authorized users or guests of any kind to lounges. And yeah, You can't do that for free anymore, starting on February the 1st of next year, 2026. So they will either have to pay or you have to pay in some way, shape, or form. So yeah, those are the changes that I'm referring to. Now, if you're traveling in a group or a family, then these changes are bad for you. But if you're somebody like me who's going to be traveling solo, these changes won't affect you at all. So this is nothing. Okay, so with all the information out the way, we are now about to apply for this card. Okay, so I am now on Capital One's official website right now, and I'm looking at their credit cards. And the one that we're going to be applying for is the Venture X. So we're going to go through the pre-approval thing. So that's the smart thing to do, because by doing this, you will not be hit with any type of ding to your credit score. And it says so right here. See if you're pre-approved for travel reward cards with no harm to your credit score, which is what we want right here. So we're gonna answer some pre-approval questions, and then they're gonna find out if we're pre-approved. And then after that, we can decide right then and there if we want to go through with the actual application, or if we want to say, nah, I don't like it, and then you can leave. And if you do decide to leave after going for the pre-approval thing, you will not be hit with a credit card, or you will not be hit with a ding rather to your credit score, as my camera is like leaning to the side for some odd reason. Okay, so here we go. So let's get started. So let's see, what's most important to me? We're gonna go with travel rewards, and we're not gonna say new credit member offer, because with Capital One, they want people who are loyal. They don't matter, it doesn't matter to them rather what the credit score is, what the credit history is. They want people who they believe to be loyal to them. So we're gonna say travel rewards. We're not gonna say no annual fee, because the card that we want do have an annual fee. So we're just gonna say travel rewards, and they say up to 2. So we're probably gonna say building credit. We're gonna say that. Okay, so we're gonna say that. I'm gonna put in my legal name so y'all won't see that. So we're gonna move on to the next page. And then they're gonna ask for your address, so we're gonna put that in. And then they want to know how to communicate with me, so I'm gonna put in my phone number, which would be my mobile phone number, and my email address. Then they're gonna ask for your employee status, so we're gonna say employed, because I am employed. And my occupation, we're gonna say information technology, because that's actually what I do actually. Now, if you are a content creator or something like that, I believe the strategy here is to still select self-employed. If you retire, you still want to, not self-employed, employee. If you retired, you also want to select employed as well. I forgot what the reason is, but in terms of like strategies and how to be approved easier, you want to select employee if you are actually self-employed, or if you're retired. Okay, so I'm gonna put in my total income and my monthly rent / mortgage. So here's the thing about that. If you don't pay rent, you can actually put down $0 right here. So with this one, what you want to put down here is the most amount of money you make on a yearly basis. Not just how much you get from your job, but how much you get general. So if you have multiple jobs, whatever the case may be, you want to add everything together. So I'm about to put in my annual income. Y'all won't see this, and then we're gonna move on to page 7. Do you have any bank accounts? So we're going to say checking account, checking only. If approved, do you intend to use your credit card for cash advances? We're gonna say no. Tell us about your citizen. Are you a U.S. citizen? Yes, obviously. Do you have citizenship in another country? No. And they're gonna ask for my date of birth and my social security number. Y'all won't see this information, so we're gonna move on to the next page. All right, so we're almost there. Finish the last few steps to see if you're pre-approved. So they basically say verify your information, and I did already. We're gonna check this box right here, agree to authorization, and then we're gonna click next. And then we're gonna click here to see if we're pre-approved. Now with Capital One, I believe they're gonna check 3 credit cards that match what I entered right here. And we're hoping that one of them is the Venture X. And there it is. There it is. I done this a few weeks back, and I was pre-approved for this. And that was when my credit score was slightly lower than what it is now. My credit score has been improving over the past few days. So I am approved, or I will be, pre-approved rather, for the Venture X, which is what we want. I'm also pre-approved for the Venture One, which is the no annual fee one. So they actually pre-approved me for these 2, not 3, but just those 2. So we can either stop right here, or we can continue on one of these. And obviously we want this one, so we're gonna roll with this one. And then they gave us the information right here. So most of this stuff is irrelevant, because outside, like if you want to read it, you can. This part is irrelevant because the main goal here is to make your payments on time, because there's no 0 APR for some period of time. Because remember, this is not a starter card. This is an upper tier credit card. So once you start using this card, you got to pay it off right there and there. Okay, we are going to accept this offer, and we're going to see what happens. At this point, we're going to take a ding on our credit score as well. We got it. We got the Venture X, and they gave us a credit limit of $10,000. Okay, so we have been pre-approved of the Venture X. I'm so excited because we now got our hands on the best credit card out now. So that's what's up. And they know I have an online account, so I'm going to continue this online setup. And there you have it. We are now approved for my first upper tier credit card, the Capital One Venture X. So we got that card in our possession, and very excited to say, if I do say so myself. And the pre-approval tool is a huge help in terms of us being approved for that card. So we can know right then and there if we have a good shot at being approved or not. Because if they wouldn't approve us, the pre-approval tool would say so. They would recommend other cards as opposed to the one that we want. And then at that point, like I said, we could either just stop right there and nothing would happen to our credit score. But they recommended it, or that was the card that we recommended, and they said we were approved for that. So I went on and continued it. So again, this is an upper tier credit card that have an annual fee of $395. So we need to be aware of that. So this will be on August the 9th actually. So I gotta make sure to make my yearly payments on August the 9th, which is no problem. So, and also again, no APR, that fiasco will not apply to this card. So as soon as I use this card, I'm gonna have to pay it off, you know, within that balance. So we're gonna be on top of that as well. So there you go with that. We just got approved for our first upper tier credit card, and there's gonna be more along the way. So stay tuned to the channel to see the approval process and all that jazz. And if this card comes in on time, because I'll be going out of town soon, I'm not sure if I would be able to do an unboxing. But if this card comes in after I leave town, then obviously I would definitely do an unboxing for you guys. But if it comes in before I leave town, then more likely there will not be an unboxing. So there you have it. We got approved for the Venture X. And I'll see you guys next time.